Today I'm excited about the author we'll be covering, and I have been reading the novels from this author since 80s and 90s, way back in college. Today's author is Michael Crichton. So Michael Crichton is an American author, and once you see all his novels, you will sort of see why he was so famous. He was born in Chicago, Illinois, 1942, and Crichton is celebrated as screenwriter, of course, a prolific author, and a film director, and also a producer. And he's known for his works in science fiction, thriller, and the medical fiction genres. So he pursued his studies at Harvard University, majoring in biological anthropology, and later also graduating from Harvard Medical School. But he never practiced medicine. His sort of scientific background influenced his writing with elaborate details around ethical questions about technology and society. So Crichton's literary career began while he was still a medical student, and he was writing under the pseudonym of John Lang, and that helped him pay his tuition fees. And most of his novels, or majority of his novels, have been adapted into successful films and television series. Michael Crichton passed away on November 4th, 2008, at a very young age. I would still call this young because it was the age of 66. He could have lived longer, and we could have celebrated more and more of his novels, and more of his novels being adapted into movies. So he has a unique blend of scientific knowledge, imaginative storytelling, and explores the ethical issues related to technology and progress that have sort of left that mark on the science fiction genre itself. And the first novel, we'll be covering multiple novels here in this video. And the first novel we'll be covering today is Andromeda Strain. Oh, wow. This was an amazing novel, and also later adapted into a movie. I think back in the 70s. So the Andromeda Strain, the novel itself, begins when a U.S. satellite that is designed to capture upper atmosphere microorganisms for biowarfare research, it crashes near a small town in Arizona. The crash, it unleashes a deadly alien microorganism codenamed the Andromeda, and hence the Andromeda strain. It kills all but two residents of the town are spared, and that's an old man and a baby. So a team of top scientists is assembled and rushed to a secret state-of-the-art underground laboratory called Wildfire, built specifically to deal with extraterrestrial or ET threats to Earth. The team includes Dr. Jeremy Stone, a Nobel Prize-winning bacteriologist, and the head of the Wildfire team, Dr. Charles Burton, a pathologist, Dr. Peter Levitt, a microbiologist, and Dr. Mark Hall, a surgeon. So their mission is to identify, contain, and they have to neutralize this Andromeda strain before it becomes a global threat, or it poses a real global threat. And essentially, there is a race against time that includes the strain's rapid mutation rate, and also the escape from containment, and adapts to new environment. It is known for coagulating human blood very quickly, and it thrives on energy, making it sort of it has the capacity to make everything into a nuclear catastrophe because it thrives on energy. So Andromeda Strain, wonderful novel to read and a wonderful movie to explore. Even though it's an old movie, you will still enjoy this, seeing this movie and also reading the novel. So the next novel we'll be going over is Spear. Spear is again a wonderful novel that was made into adapted into a movie, and this was back in the 80s, I guess. So the story begins when a massive spaceship-like object is discovered on the ocean floor in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean. So it's estimated to be 300 years old, predating any kind of known human technology that is capable of such a feat, right? And it's dating 300 years old. but also it kind of is beyond the human technology known of today. So the team of scientists is assembled to investigate in this state-of-the-art underwater habitat called deep core. The team includes psychologist Dr. Norman Goodman, who wrote a report for the government on how to handle the first contact with ET or the extraterrestrial intelligence, mathematician Dr. Beth Alburn, biochemist Dr. Harry Adams, and astrophysicist Dr. Ted Fielding. And all these are renowned scientists in their own field, right? And they have to now work together and in this deep core underwater habitat called deep core. So on the arrival at the ocean floor, the team discovers that mysterious object is not alien, but rather an American spaceship from the future. So inside the ship, they find a large, perfectly spherical object made of unknown material, and this is a very powerful unknown material. Essentially, the sphere has the power to manifest subconscious thoughts into reality. So if these people who are there in deep core are thinking about something in their subconscious, it brings those thoughts into reality. So wonderful, right? So leads to like a lot of dangerous incidents. So the fears and the phobias in the isolation of underwater environment, they all start becoming the reality, and that puts a lot of psychological strain on the residents of this deep core. So Sphere is wonderful movie. You can go watch it or read the novel, whichever medium you like to consume. But I would prefer like doing both of them. I have done the novel read as well as watched the movie, and both are wonderful experiences. So the third novel we'll be covering today is Disclosure, and this was a 1990s kind of movie, right? A movie which was way ahead of this time, and it was starring Demi Moore in a very, very powerful role. And essentially, Disclosure follows Tom Sanders, division manager of Digicom, a leading hardware company based in Seattle, Washington, right? And Sanders is expecting a promotion. So, and instead of getting a promotion on the eve of the company's merger with the publishing giant, he learns that promotion has gone to Meredith Johnson, an ambitious executive, right, and Sanders' former lover, and this is played by Demi Moore, and she's a former lover of Sanders as well. The plot thickens when Johnson Meredith invites Sanders to a late meeting in her office where she attempts to seduce him. She's powerful figure, and Sanders kind of rebuffs all Johnson's advances, and the next day he finds himself accused of sexual harassment. And that's way ahead of the time back in the 90s, right? The accusation threatens not only Sanders' career and reputation, but also his marriage and family life. He's faced with the destruction of everything he values. So Sanders decides to fight back. He sues Digicom for sexual harassment. That leads to a high-stakes legal battle, and it exposes the dark underbelly of corporations. And this was way ahead of its time, and it uncovers a web of deceit, sort of the corporate espionage, the conspiracy related to the merger, and a lot of implications that are tied back into the technology industry that weave back into the narrative. So, wonderful movie and a read, I would say. So the next one, Prey, and this has not been adapted into a movie, and I still wonder why. The rights were sold to a huge studio company back in the 90s, but it never materialized into a movie. So and this can be done into a movie anytime, even now, and it would turn out to be a thriller. But it was like around that time when the movie rights were bought. It was thought like if a movie is made people may exit out of the movie theater, and it was such a scary thought that the film studios never thought of threatening their own kind of income by putting together a movie. But the story itself centers around Jack Foreman, a software programmer who is recently unemployed, and he becomes a stay-at-home dad. His wife Julia, meanwhile, is a high-ranking executive at Zymos, a company pioneering in the field of nanotechnology. So 90s, Michael Crichton wrote about nanotechnology, right? And when Julia's behavior begins to change, and it's not explainable, and she's changing, and her behavior is changing, and she becomes increasingly secretive about her work. And Jack, a stay-at-home dad, he grows concerned. So Jack's worries escalate when he gets a frantic call from Julia's company requesting his help to deal with the problem at one of their remote facilities in the desert. So now Jack arrives at this facility. So Jack discovers that Zymos has been developing a swarm of nanobots. So these nanobots, if somebody doesn't know, everybody knows it nowadays. Nanobots are microscopic, self-replicating robots designed to function as a collective form of artificial intelligence for military reconnaissance and medical purposes. Right? They can be used for good medical purposes, or they can be used for the military as well. So this is a swarm of nanobots. So the project has gone horribly wrong. The nanobots have escaped containment and are evolving at an alarming rate. So learning from the environment, because they are AI and artificial intelligence learns from their environment, and they develop predatory behaviors that pose a deadly threat to the staff's facility staff and potentially all of human life, right? And this is a race against time where they have escaped containment and they need to be contained, and they have the potential to threaten all of human life. So this is a wonderful novel. So even before it gets done into a movie, go read it. Read the novel, you will enjoy it. So the other novels that have been adapted into movies. So who doesn't know Jurassic Park, the wonderful adaptations by Steven Spielberg, and the series of them, right? Like The Lost World followed after Jurassic Park. So these are wonderful movies and also novels to be read as well. And reading the novel, it gives you a different feel. And when you go watch the movie, you will feel like how the screenwriters, the directors have adapted really and made it screen worthy, right? So there is a lot of effort that goes in, and I appreciate that kind of ingenuity that is brought. And of course, Steven Spielberg, I would go watch any of his movies that he puts out. So read the novel and then go see the movie, I would say. Or if you have already watched the movie, go read the novel. You would still enjoy it. And novels or the series that was very popular, ER, right? And then this is a groundbreaking medical drama, right? The American medical drama television series, and it was created by Michael Crichton himself, and he was acting as a screenwriter and sort of very much involved in this project. And the ER TV series aired from 1994 to 2009. The show is set in the ER of County General Hospital, a fictional level 1 kind of a trauma center in Chicago. But it has such a rich atmosphere that you get completely embroiled into this TV series, and even the writing. So enriched with Crichton's own experiences as a medical student, right? And there is a lot of experiences he brings in there. So ER provides a fast-paced, intense, realistic portrayal of challenges and the pressures, daily pressures, right, that are faced by the ER and the personnel working in the medical facility. It's about the lives of doctors, nurses, and the staff who work in the ER. So it kind of blends their personal stories with the high stakes environment of emergency kind of scenarios or ER medicine in a way. So the portrays portrayal itself includes complex characters, and there is a lot of ethical dilemmas that come into the picture each and every day, and the emotional depth, how you're dealing with your personal stories and how you bring that back into the world, and especially in such a emotional scenario where somebody's life is involved, and you are exploring issues such as life and death, love and loss. And these are the strains that you have to deal with in the medical profession. So ER featured an ensemble cast, including notable characters like Dr. Mark Green, played by Anthony Edwards, Nurse Carol Hathaway, Julianne Margiles, Dr. Doug Ross, George Clooney. George Clooney's character everybody can recognize now, right? And Dr. John Carter, Noah Weil, and Dr. Peter Benton, Eric Lassede, among others. So there were many other iconic characters in this ER TV series. So the other Michael Crichton novels, Airframe is a wonderful one, Congo, and then Pirate Life Dudes, and bring them in a separate video. Can't do a long video, right? So I prefer to keep these sort of video short, like the 15-20 minute time frame. So Airframe, Congo, Pirate Latitudes in the next video, along with the other three that are listed here: Terminal Man, The Eaters of the Dead, and Timeline. So Timeline is a wonderful one. Imagine the impossible. So that's what it is. So that's it for today. Thank you, and see you soon in the next review of another author and their novels.